Well, hello, hello, hello. I'm back, y'all. Listen, y'all gonna have to bear with me. I'm trying to get my bearings back, trying to figure out what day I'm gonna do best doing reviews. I'm kind of out of practice, and I just thank y'all for working with me while I try to get this together. But today we're going to talk about the Never Ever Mets. I told y'all I'm reviewing this show because I feel like this is probably going to be a one and done season. I just feel that way. Um I don't see it working past this season unless they make major changes. Um I don't know. To be honest, I didn't do episode 4. I watched it, but to sum up episode 4, as I will always do, sum things up. Episode 4 was more about, everybody's checking in with Taronda, if that's her name. Um, the fact that y'all know Brandon and Sienna. And I don't want to waste a lot of time. To be honest, when these people, okay, these couples are toxic, and there's a reason they haven't met in person before, and we're starting to see why. Brandon and Sienna, with their blow up 2 episodes before, and them talking to Taronda, who is the host of the show, um, they came to the conclusion that they probably don't need to be doing this relationship thing. And I agree. Um, I'm going to say my opinion is mostly that Sienna is the problem because she pop off before she listen. I do believe she's a Sagittarius. I'm not making excuses, but I'm also a Sagittarius. I can understand the hot button of it all, but she's hot on everything. She's just she's not ready to be in a relationship. Brandon is more laid back, but I feel like Brandon has a little bit of toxicity in him because I think he likes toxic behaviors, to be honest. I think he says, he's like, hey, I don't get into arguments and everything. But I notice a lot of times people who don't like to be argumentative, they don't like getting into arguments, tend to choose um significant others and spouses that like to be problematic and argumentative. And then that way they're like, well, I'm not confrontational. I don't do that kind of thing. But they're also the type of people that sometimes stoke those fires. So, anyway, like I said, they're equally, I'm not going to say equally, but they're whatever. Anyway, so because of that and some other things, y'all know I don't really care for Chris. Um, I don't really care for nothing. Let me think. I don't really care for none of 'em. I like Greg's mom. Now, Millie and Greg, was that last episode? I don't I know Millie and Greg met each other's people. I thought that was great. I love the way that Millie um well, Greg's mom kind of, welcomed her to the family, for lack of a better term. I like the way that they both of them seem to be somewhat um, less confrontational. I think that whatever issues they have, they can work them out. I actually think that they may be a better match than some of the other ones. I was on the fence about them at first, but I think they're okay. I think they're going to be okay. And what y'all going to see from probably the next episodes on is I'm not doing so much as a review as much as I'm just kind of giving you my overall thoughts on how I feel like these couples relate to each other in different aspects of these different scenes that we're going to see them in. But I think Millie and Greg's biggest issue is that Millie is a little um, she's a tough kind of kid, but I think that Greg is the right kind of guy for her because that doesn't scare him off. That's not anything that's intimidating. And I don't think he's looking to change her. So I think that, and for him to speak so highly, like I'm looking for a future with her, I believe that they will be fine. Aaron and Jody. Okay. um Sandia with Chris. Sandia is going to have to find her voice in the episode 4. Since like I said, I'm not doing a full recap of episode 4. In episode 4, the one thing I see is that whenever Chris talks, she shrinks down. And I just don't care for those types of behaviors in relationships, whether they are the male or the female in the relationship. Or whomever, if the more dominant um, personality in the relationship versus the less dominant personality. If the more dominant person, when they're talking, tends to make that other person shrink, it's never a good thing. Now, that's the difference between someone's more outspoken than the other. Those are different from, just you talking makes me feel little. Whenever she said, you know, she tried to voice her opinions, like, hey, I don't feel that, you listen to me. And he said, I don't feel like your feelings are valid. And he, oh, I don't care for Chris. I don't care for Chris. And I know both of them are Haitian, and maybe there's a different culture when it comes to certain things. But I'm telling you, yeah, Chris couldn't be my little brother or anything, because we're gonna get Chris together. Josh and Shay, like I said, they their own level of toxic. They love each other. They seem to have worked out whatever that's gonna work out. I need Aaron, um, Aaron J, Aaron H, whatever. Aaron and Diamond. Diamond's Aaron. I need them to stop worrying about trying to be the parental figures of the group and work more so on who they are. I guess I could have pulled pictures of while I was talking, but no, y'all just gonna get me talking right now. They need to back off of the being, trying to advise everyone, because they're in need of advice. Just because you've been talking on the phone for 5 years does not give you um don't make you, need to advise everybody. And then also, they've been on the phone for 5 years, and he 51 and she 43. You mean to tell me y'all couldn't figure this out? Anyway. What other person am I leaving out? I don't think I'm leaving out any other groups. Anyway, so really episode 5 is playing off of all the things for episode 6, and now 4 to 5. Y'all. Mm-mm. So in this episode, we know that Diamond and Aaron's people are coming. So we'll just kind of get into that. So at the beginning of episode 5, we'll get into the beginning of episode 5. Let me get to my graphics here. So we see that Taronda pulls aside these two. If I can pull up there we go. She pulls up those two there and talks to Brandon and Sienna and lets them know that after the conversation that they've had regarding where their relationship is going, if they're willing to work on it, Brandon says it's not worth saving. Sienna said, okay, well then, all right. So Taronda lets them know that this is their opportunity and their time to leave, because the whole purpose of them coming to the show is for them to foster a relationship, and it's just no longer doing that. They're no longer interested in having a relationship. They both said that the pressure has kind of come down. They think they can forge a friendship now, but they are no longer looking to be in a relationship. So because of that, that means that it's simply time for them to leave the process. Both of them said they learned things. Brendan says that he definitely took some things away. You can't come into that house not, learning things. And I think that's great for them, but it's just simply time for them to leave. Also, let me just put this in here because I was just noticing some things that I'll pop my little face in here. What I did notice is that is this show sponsored by Volvo? Somebody tell me. Is the show sponsored by Volvo? Because I noticed that everyone hops into the Volvo when they leave. So Perhaps it is sponsored by Volvo, and the XT90 is really not. I mean, I ain't sponsored by nobody, but I really like the XT90. I just thought y'all should know that about me. So anyway, after they leave and say their goodbyes and everything, we cut away to Diamond sitting on the couch because this is first thing in the morning, so everybody's having breakfast and everything. And it's very noticeable that Diamond's kind of like not talking to everybody because there was a big fallout that happened in the previous episode, where she spoke up and let Jody know that she don't like the way that she's moving when it comes to Chris. Like she has a person there, Chris has a person there, and they seem to be googly eyed for each other. So I don't know what happened to that grab. Well, whatever. So she's sitting down here, and she and Aaron have a conversation, and the conversation was she felt alone because she said Aaron, after she did all the conversation and everybody kind of got quiet about the fact that they don't like the way that Chris and Jody are relating with each other. Nobody came to her side, not even the guy that she was there with. And she was telling him, I feel alone because you didn't even say anything on my behalf when I was talking to uh or talking about this situation. And I thought that was interesting as well because everybody has smoke until it's time to come up and, have each other's back. So I thought that, that was a valid, thing for her to say to Aaron. And, so she felt like she was alone. And the problem that I had with this next thing that happened is that, sometimes it's just too little too late. So he gets up and he runs up in the kitchen and he wants everybody to listen to him, and because he wants you to know that what you're not gonna do is say that I don't support my woman. And what had happened was she told me I didn't have her back, so y'all gonna see that I got her back. And he points, and that's a thing I hate. He pointed at Jody and he said, I ain't never liked you. And she said, the feeling is mutual. And so he comes in on like a 15 or 20. And, Aaron got a little bit of an anger problem and a control issue. Um, I don't know if y'all noticed that, but one thing, he wants to be in charge, not in control. He want to be in charge. And I don't like the way he talks, that he talks to Jody. Now, she's not my favorite person in the house either. But he had no right to come and disrespect her in that way and talking bad. And as they have the conversation about, why he doesn't like her and what people are thinking and what people are saying, she's like, I don't care what people say about me. You can say whatever you want to say. Pop, pop, pop. There's a lot of mess going on. And the people in the background was just kind of like, yeah, no, that's how we feel. And Millie felt, they were trying to get people to talk up and they really weren't talking up. Millie was looking like, uh, I already said what I needed to say. And a lot of them had that look on their face as though they didn't really want to be involved. And I think that when it comes to situations like that, you can't always be positive, but I think there's just a time and place. And because he was called out, then that was the only reason why he said what he said in front of everybody. I thought it was like really unhinged the way he was going. Anyway, everything devolves into an argument again with the people in the kitchen. Shay and Josh somewhere in the corner hugging up on each other like they normally do. The people that were there, you have this couple here, you have basically four couples sitting in the kitchen. And Millie is like, Chris Chris said something to the effect that Jody's his favorite person in the room, and or his, favorite person that he's met or something to that nature. And that's when Millie kind of started popping off like, but it's Sandia, your favorite person, because you keep talking about Jody and defending her, but what about the woman that you came here for? And I agree with that because everything has been about, oh, we just get along and she's my favorite person, da 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 da. And I'm like, no, support the person that you came here for. Let me tell you, there are a lot of issues between Chris and Sandia and then Jody and Aaron. I don't believe that Jody and Aaron like each other romantically. You can't convince me that they care for each other romantically. I think they make good friends. I think that's it. I think Sandia is looking for something with Chris, and I don't think that she's going to find it with him. Whatever she's looking for, he may possess a lot of those different traits that she's looking for, but he is not going to focus whatever it is that she's looking for on her, because I don't think he cares for her that way unless he can go ahead and turn her into what he needs, which is he needs a subservient woman, or he wants Jody. I mean, it's one or the other. That's my feeling on it. After they get into it, once Millie starts speaking up, he's trying to convince Sandia that, you know, we just need to focus on us and you need to stop letting these people get in your head. That's his favorite thing to say. I mean, the focus, look at you. Hold on, let me go back here. Look at his eyes. Look at how he's always got them eyes booked. He wants you to believe him so bad that whatever is happening, whatever he's saying is the truth. And she always looking sad. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. She's always looking like super sad and defeated. And now the thing is they agreed to go to couples counseling because they need it. But also, well, she said she like it and he said he'll try it just because she tried, but he don't really get down like that. I'm gonna skip a lot of things because I think some things are just not worth talking about this episode. They did go see a therapist. I'm skipping around and I'm skipping some things, but they did go see the in-house therapist that kind of helped them both understand that there are some things that they need to both work on. And one of the things that he needs to work on is empathy toward his partner, because he just simply dismisses feelings because he doesn't believe in feelings, basically. But at the same time, he wants the courtesy of a partner to tell him, to reassure him, because he's dealt with a partner who, with infidelity with one of his past partners. So this therapist tells him, y'all been together 3 months, and empathy is important. You're going to have to allow for empathy for your partner. If she says she needs to be reassured in this way, then reassure her. And then also, his biggest problem is he keeps this wall up with her because he's already been hurt before in another relationship. And she tells Sandia, the problem is you're paying for the the sins of a former partner. So, it's just going to take him a little bit more time to open up to her. But, you need to basically, they need to give each other the same amount of space. And I think this is good advice. However, I just don't think Chris is really checking for Sandia like that. I don't know. I don't know. And that's where I am when it comes to that couple. Like, I just don't believe that he's that interested in being in a relationship with her, to be honest. I mean, y'all just tell me what y'all think. Now, if we're gonna move on, because like I said, I'm skipping around. Now, that morning when they had breakfast, they did get dressed and go on to see an expert on rope binding, and this was an exercise that they all worked together. This freaky dude right here, if y'all can see, he was talking to them about the art of the rope binding, sensation play, and if you watched through these episodes, I did not get any clips of those, but you can go back and watch the episodes. They use ropes and blindfolds, things of that nature, to kind of engage themselves and their partners into a little bit of rope play. So he explained to them about, how the art works. You do need to have someone that's gonna tie everybody up. You have to have a partner that wants to be tied up. And so it was very interesting to see in each couple who was tying and who was being tied, and then that person could be blindfolded, and those people also, um you know if you trust your partner enough, he was just showing them things you can do when you tie your partner up. He was showing them how to use feathers, all these sensational items, which I think are great ways to help you to acclimate yourself and your partner into sensual play and also sexual play. And y'all know I'm your neighborhood sexuality and intimacy coach, so I always have to just put my spin into this. I think this was a great opportunity for those who have not delved into the sensual or physical part of their relationship as of yet. We know they just met each other. It's only been a week or so. And so this is really the first time they're meeting each other in person. I think this is a great way before you get to, heavily sexual things, but this is very sensual, a way to understand what your partner likes, what they need, what they can expect from you in a sexual session. Now, I noticed the faces on some of these people, and again, I am not convinced they're gonna make it past these places within this building, because I don't feel like there is anything they're building to. Um, Again, I feel like Millie and Greg are going to be okay. I think it's gonna take time, but I think both of them are cautiously. I think that he's a little bit more eager sexually than she is, but we'll find out later why she's not necessarily on board for anything too sexual. I think that when it comes to Sandia and Chris, she's just gonna fall in to whatever he wants. That's just really how I feel about it. I don't think that she's gonna be vocal enough to tell what she needs, because if you look through the activity, she just kind of looked lifeless. She almost looked like she was being held hostage. I don't know. Um, Aaron and Diamond, child, they yeah, they're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right sexually, because I don't think that's anything that they haven't discussed what they like. I think they both just, I don't know what they waiting on, or have they they saying they waited, but we know they haven't. Um, Josh and Shay were in their own little world. They were just over there he was kissing her neck and rubbing on her, and she was enjoying it. And you can tell through their body language that they were enjoying it, and the interaction was very organic. It was very real. Um, Now, when it came to Jody and Aaron, she was doing the tying, and she mentioned that she was doing the tying because she had had some sexual trauma in the past. And I never speak on anybody else's, trauma and everything. And that's, I can understand wanting to have, take the reins when you've uh, had a violation to happen within yourself. But she's also said more uh, times than not that she is a certified, sexuality coach and everything, and I am as well. And I think for her, and this is my hope for you, Jody, um, that does not absolve you from needing your own coaching. You have the tools, but you don't use them. And it's very clear that um and this is for everyone. This is for everyone. You have blinders sometimes when you are part of a certain profession. Like because I am a sexuality coach does not mean that I don't need someone else's insight that is also a coach, or a therapist, or anything like that. And I wouldn't say I'm a subject matter expert. Okay, I would, but I would always want to have the outside or objective view from someone else. And I think a lot of times with her, she does a lot of talking, but not enough listening. um, because I don't see that she sees that whatever she wants to project for herself, it's not reflecting in her relationship. So she has the tools, she knows what to do, but she's not going to use them. And because she has had certain traumas or, experienced certain traumas, I understand that part. But I think that what she's not getting is that she's not even connecting on an emotional level with her partner as much as she is connecting on a um, physical level or attraction level. She's very much attracted to Chris. It's very clear that she's attracted to Chris and he's attracted to her, which is why a lot of folks are having problems because they're saying you came here with one person, focus on that person. The other thing about Jody is she's with someone like Aaron that is just going to be a yes person. Aaron is very much a yes man. He just like, yay, okay. But what he did notice, and this is something that I noticed about it, is that he noticed that during this time that they were really the only ones not really connecting with each other after they finished playing with the ropes and the blindfolds and everything. Everybody was just kind of like touching and, cuddling and caressing and getting a little closer after they finished the experiment or activity. And they were still just kind of like, yeah, so what happened on your Facebook page? Like that was really the type of attitude they had toward each other. It just really kind of trickled off into nothing. And so I hope that for them, they either get real about their relationship or they leave each other alone. Um, I think they both deserve better than that. I think Jody does need to heal a little bit more before she enters another relationship. And I think that there are some things because she said in another scene that she's a self-proclaimed man eater. And think, I don't know, because yeah. So they play. Let's go on to the next thing. So they come back home, they eat, they're getting ready for dinner and everything. Diamond and Aaron are getting ready for their person to come. And while they're waiting on their people to show up, the folks are, again, there's dinner going, they're playing games and everything. Wanted so they did another one of those ask some questions and get some answers. You had people that say, "Oh, what's something that you're curious about that you haven't done?" And they wrote out orgies or who. Okay, so who was interested in an orgy? Well, Jody's interested in an orgy. And then and there's some other little games that they tried to play and everything. In the meantime, Diamond, Aaron's person came. Um, what is his name? Do I have it written? Roland. There it is. Roland comes. He wants Roland to meet Diamond. So they're talking about, how they're really looking toward marriage and everything. Uh, and Diamond's sister comes for her, and she was saying her sister isn't too excited about her being with Aaron. And the problem with that is they got into it during something online, but child, it was a mess. And Erin was like, she was getting all in my face. I said to Diamond, I love her. And she was like, we'll see. Yeah, I just don't like things I don't care for is the back and forth in comment sections when it comes to stuff like that. I get that people want to be protective of family members and everything. And I mean, I've been guilty of it just popping off in the comment section, but really sometimes you got to realize you're too old for those type of conversations and arguments. um, Aaron plans to propose by the end of the experiment, and that's why he really, wanted his friend there, and that's what they're working on. And the guy was just, saying, "Hey, how you know she the one?" He's like, "I know she the one." The sister comes through, and they try to introduce the sister to Aaron. Well, she tries to introduce her sister to Aaron, and of course, her sister's name is Irene, and I mean, it just goes to hell real quick. The problem with this that I have is the second time in one episode that Aaron has been very volatile and verbally um just I'm not gonna. He's been disrespectful to women, and I think he called the sister the B word. And so I'm not excited about the way that they interacted. Both, again, he could have held back, she could have held back. This was just supposed to be a meeting in person. Um, Diamond told Irene she gonna have to get to, loving on him because that's gonna be her brother-in-law. And true enough, you don't have to accept people, but at the same time, this type of behavior is unacceptable because it looks bad on both parts. You got Aaron's friend having to hold him back, and they're still going back and forth. Diamond holding her sister back, and the problem with all of this is it just looks bad. But here's what was funny to me is that it looked like it looked like kids. These folks look like some little kids seeing some stuff going on. They seeing the ruckus happening because they were supposed to be sitting down having dinner and having fun while all this stuff is going on, but absolutely not. It was so much going on that it disrupted their dinner time, and so that's what we ended on. We ended on them getting into Aaron getting into it with Diamond's sister. That's gonna be a problem because they'll never have good family time if you can't find a place for everybody to get together. And I just hope that if they're, thinking about moving forward in their relationship, I hope that, they find some common ground because it wouldn't be a good thing that, your family just can't come together when it comes to the people you love. You want them to be able to get along because, you love everybody and you want them to be a part of your life. And it would be ashamed if you have to cut one out for the other. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen next episode. Hopefully I can get my life together so that I can be a little bit more consistent and do these when they come out instead of holding out every 2 weeks. I'm getting better, y'all. I'm getting better. I am. Now I will also review Love and Marriage Huntsville. I know that we're a few episodes in, and again, I'm just going to give an overview of the past episodes because I definitely want to get into talking about what's going on with the Destiny and Sunny and Moses situation. I do want to talk about briefly about that situation with Martell being arrested, even though I really don't want to hear nothing else about Martell. And then also just want to, give my insight on some of the new people coming through for this season. So y'all be on the lookout for that. But I just want to thank you guys for watching again. It's been a great day. Thank you again for watching tonight's episode. I'm gonna come with some more stuff in the future. I'll be doing more, probably smaller videos, kind of breaking down some of these relationships. Probably doing more, probably lunchtime, daytime reviews when it comes to certain shows and some Netflix things that I've been watching as well. So hopefully you guys will be along for the ride, and I'll appreciate you all for doing that. Again, thank you. Have a good night, and please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.